So good evening to all. Welcome to our knowledge series webinar today. I would request my colleague Sagar to start introducing ourselves, and then I'll take over to present the topic. Sagar, over to you, please.
Yeah. Good evening, all. Dinakar, could you present the slides?
Yeah.
Thank you. Good evening, all, and welcome to this pleasant evening. You can take the horse to the water, you can't make it drink. That is what is a phrase that we've all heard. But I was moved and motivated when I heard this phrase called, I am going to make the horse thirsty. It shall go seek water by itself. And this is said none other than today's presenter, Mr. Dinakar Murthy Krishna. Welcome one and all to Samuthána Coaching LLP's Knowledge Series. And today's topic of Knowledge Series is Agile Mindset. Before we move on to our Agile Mindset Knowledge Series, let me introduce to our panelists today. We have Mr. Dinakar Murthy Krishna, who is our primary presenter today. Dinakar is an industrial engineering from BMS College, who later on went on to work with Bosch throughout the globe. He worked both in India, Germany, Brazil, USA, other parts of Europe, and in his last stint, Mr. Dinakar was the Vice President of Bosch Limited in Jaipur. Throughout his career in Bosch, Dinakar did transformation of Bosch to a global company. He made plans of Robert Bosch as world class. And once he came out, that is what he wanted to do to all the other companies. Share his wisdom, share his knowledge, experience to the globe. In that context, Mr. Dinakar founded Samuthána. Motivated by this of his motto, that is creating world-class companies and exceptional leaders, I, Sagar Maudgal, and few of my other colleagues, like today we have got Vivek and Vivin, joined the bandwagon along with other consultants to make his dream possible. That now has become our dream as well. Today we have along with Dinakar, Mr. Vivek, who has got 30 plus years of experience in the industry with exposure to sales and marketing, product management, manufacturing, and international marketing in an industrial consumables company. Also, we have Mr. Vivin, who has 15 years of experience in manufacturing, energy management, and consulting in USA and India. With this note, I welcome one and all for quenching your thirst of knowledge, and I hand it over to Mr. Dinakar. Mr. Dinakar, please proceed.
Thanks a lot, Sagar. I hope you're all listening. In case not, please lift your hand and I can understand that. I'm not going to be sharing my webinar during the presentation, and later when we have Q&A, I will do that. So what I would be talking today is my understanding and my experiential understanding, I would say, of the way the brain works, the mind works, and how we could create an agile mindset, which is the need of the hour, so that we can really create a huge revolution in our society in the next coming days post lockdown more specifically. So let me start by talking to you about my understanding of the brain and the nervous system, which is the hardware, I would say. We are all born with about 100 billion neurons, with the numbers you can see on the screen, and these more or less remain the same till we die. And what is additionally important to talk about in terms of the magnitude of the brain, this is important to understand. It was important to me to understand the magnitude of the brain to really know the power that the brain has, which is humongous. Our brain is like 100 billion mini computers all working together. That's a very nice statement. Now, let us see how many computers, desktops, and servers we have in our world today. As of 2019, there were about 2 billion such servers, desktops, and laptops in the entire world. Now, if imagine 50 times that interconnected, all of them working together as one entity, is what our brain is all about. You don't need to really take a screenshot. You can go to the handout and download the entire presentation. It's available. So don't worry about that. Just listen and look at the screens, and a lot of interaction happening during the webinar. So you're more required to focus on that. Now, coming to the mind, I said brain was the hardware. which more or less remains the same till we die. Now, what changes is actually software, which is the mind and the consciousness. When we are born, we have about 2,500 synapses per neuron. Synapses are connections between the neuron. What you see here in the animation video on the right side is the animation of the synapses getting formed in our nervous system. Whenever we learn anything, whenever there is any excitement, any new knowledge, any new information, two neurons join together, and at that particular junction, the junction is called as synapsis. Whenever a synapse occurs, dopamine gets released, which is the happiness syndrome, happiness hormone, I would say. And what is important is 2,500 synapses in a newborn, and it increases to about 10,000 synapses per neuron in an adult, totaling to about 10 trillion synapses in an adult, approximately. And of course, continuously synapses are getting formed throughout the day as we keep getting new thoughts, which would be about 12 to 50,000 thoughts every day per adult. Now, just to get the magnitude again, I am trying to make it really big so that we understand what we are dealing with. If we suppose started counting each synapse one every second we count one synapse in our brain, and you know how many years it's going to take for us to count, and what time it will take for us to count all the synapses, considering that the new ones are not getting formed. It would take us 32 million years to count all the synapses. That's the magnitude. So in terms of imagining to understand mind and brain is, in my opinion, quite challenging, almost impossible task. Why should I say almost? It's definitely an impossible task. So what I talk today is a very, very minuscule understanding of what I have of the brain and the mind. Our subconscious mind senses the reality in about 250 microseconds, which takes another 100 to 500 milliseconds for the conscious mind to realize. When we say conscious, where we are able to recognize that as some image or some sound or some movement, subconscious can do it in 250 microseconds. It is very, very short time. And that's the reason why, if you have seen any of the hypnosis shows, people can remember almost everything to minute detail of their childhood, of their schooling, of their college days, whatever time that you go into, you could remember that because everything is in the brain. It's all stored there. Now, the next statement, which is very, very important as far as the mind is concerned, this is important for us to understand how to develop the agile mindset. Our subconscious prepares all our actions in real time, 500 milliseconds before executing that. This particular discovery was done sometime in the years 60s by a German professor by name Kornhuber, and later it was repeated by another professor called as Libet in San Francisco. You can refer to the internet. It's called as the Libet experiment, which basically talks about us really not having any free will at all, because the entire preparation is done by the subconscious 500 milliseconds before we execute anything. While the subconscious mind comes to know of this only 200 milliseconds before we do the actual action. So the entire thing is run by the subconscious, which we really directly don't have any control, but we could definitely influence the subconscious. I will talk about that, how to do that as we move ahead. There are a lot of people who have spoken about this, have indicated their ideas and their thoughts on this topic. Definitely, it's something which is very, very exploratory in nature. And even today, each one of you, if you have interest, you can read a lot of reading material and videos to look at. Now, let us understand the amount of power of subconscious is very, very strong. It's something like this whitewater rafting. You know, it really can't keep on deciding and moving the way you would like to or you would want to. Just to get an idea as to how do we how each one of us understand this choice, let me do a small poll where I would request you to choose one of these statements which you most agree with. I launched a poll now so that it's launched. Each one of you can choose one of the statements you agree with. We're talking about the wildwater rafting, which I showed you in the earlier picture. And whitewater rafting, if some of you have not understood, have not experienced whitewater rafting, it's about going on a river with rapids. Rapids are what they called as, where you have got lots of falls happening in a river, mini falls, and you take a inflated boat and go along there. So my request is please do the poll, select what you are going to choose. This is important for us to understand how people are making the choices. What would be the choices that people make? Let us see how your perceptions are. So now about 15% have voted. I'll wait for some more time. Please keep voting. And once you're done, I'll share the poll also so that we can see what it is, what is the information available. Okay. So this is something which is interesting, that each one of us have our own way of looking at things. That's something which is fundamental. And what I have read, okay, I keep experimenting that in our doHow workshops, that whenever people are explained about these concepts, there is a huge transformation that happens in us because we feel that it is something which we didn't know, and doing that, the brain can understand and then start discovering new ideas and new thoughts. 60% of you have voted. If anybody is still missing out, please do that. Otherwise, I think it's more or less stable now. Each one of you can vote. That is something which is important. Like this is not like our national election where you just remain silent. You can definitely vote. There is no hesitation on that. And and next time when you get the chance, please do it a little quickly once you have chosen the answer. Now I'll close the poll and then show you the data which we have got in the poll. If you see, 68% have voted for the choice 3, which is people can decide to keep trying their best to steer. These are 68% of the people are positive mindset. They already have a growth mindset, agile mindset, to really not give up anything. That's something which is very positive. And 4% say that people can decide to just stay quiet to cross the rapid. So they're also smart people, intelligent ones, but they're not going to really try out what to do. And 16% of the people say that people can hardly make their own choice in this situation. Again, another view. There is nothing which is correct or wrong. It's only to understand that we have these kinds of different perceptions, and it is important for us to understand how the I'm not sure why somebody said that they could not do the poll. Is it? That's something which is interesting. May I know why you could not do the poll? It's just have to you have to go there and select the answer. It's as simple as that. You need to on the screen you can select the answer. I don't think it will be a difficult thing. Could not answer. Could not select the answer. Mohan RV could not select the answer. I'm not sure why you could not select the answer. So please do it the next time. It's not very complicated. You just get a set of choices. If you are using a mobile phone, you need to press your finger. If you are using a desktop computer, then you need to use your mouse and click the answer. So next time when we do that, you try it out. There are multiple polls coming up still. Now, with this background, saying that there is first diversity, that means all of us are not looking at it in the same manner, though there is a tendency that most of us feel that people can decide to keep trying their best to steer so that they can come out of the situation more, what should I say, more energetic and more successful. So now at this stage, I will again remove this poll. I hide the poll and then we get back to the presentation. Let me continue by talking about my discovery of mind, which is the science behind doHow. doHow is an invention which I have done for creating the agile mindset. First is our brain captures all our experiences and their emotions as memories, which I explained in the earlier slide on the software of the brain, the mind. Some memories are nice, some neutral, and some are ugly. I'm sure you agree to that. All the memories are not always same. Based on these memories, our brain develops a unique framework as a filter. That is something which is very important. That all of us have a filter based on these memories. Why are these memories used? Because the brain uses these memories to predict. These predictions are done. That is where the readiness potential comes into picture, using which predictions are done, continuously establishing our mindset. Predictions are done and brain wants to make you function very, very effectively. So therefore, the prediction is done. And if the prediction is good, then or better than what brain predicted, then you are happy. If the outcome in reality is not as good as what you predicted, you feel sometimes sad. And then you try to correct, brain tries to correct as to what went wrong. And then next time it predicts in a better way. That's the way it happens. And it is happening in real-time basis. That's something which is phenomenal. Now, this particular predictions are the basis of which is described in Berecha's potential, which I explained in the earlier slide, where we are preparing everything 500 milliseconds before executing. Now, why are these mindset and why the predictions and why do I talk about a framework, etc.? Because for us to understand the mindset, we need to understand that each one of us mindset is something which we see, which we define as the way people are perceiving, thinking, deciding, and acting. And that's what we will now go through in the next coming slides with some video and polling again. Now, in this case, I'm going to start a video, which is what you will be seeing first, and after that, we do this poll. Just have a look at this video. It will not take much time, about I think 2 minutes or 2.5 minutes video. It is small videos. All my videos are small videos, so that you can appreciate that. All these are all from YouTube, and in the presentation, there is always a link you can see. I had quite a few hands raised. If you are not able to watch the video, you need to unmute your sound. If the unmuting is possible, you can unmute the sound. If the video is muted, I am not sure if that is the case, or increase the volume. I'm not sure what Mr. Balasubramaniam, Dhananjay, Narasimha Rao, Srinivasan want to talk about. Can you please either explain? I can unmute you. If you have any question, can you please ask? Mr. Balasubramaniam, any question you have got?
No, actually, I was not able to hear that properly. The video, in fact, went to 1 minute.
Video, you need to just increase the volume. That's all. It's as simple as that.
Okay, fine. Yeah.
While video is being played, there is one mute button which will come up in middle of the video. Just unmute, and you will be able to hear it.
Yeah, and Mr. Dhananjay Kulkarni, you have any question?
Actually, the audio was twice. That means the commentary which started, again started, and both are able. I was able to at the same time. It was.
It maybe because of the connection. Because from my side, the audio is good. Okay, so I don't know whether maybe you just have to wait. The internet will come back again. Yeah. And Mr. Narasimha Rao, you have any question? Mr. Narasimha Rao, any question? Okay, nothing there. And Mr. Srinivasan Navanithan?
Yeah, only the audible, even though increasing full volume, I was not able to hear the voice.
In the video, is it?
In the video. While video was playing, video I was able to see, the sound level was very feeble.
Don't worry, the video sounds are not, that could be something to do with your, see in the video there is a volume control. You can increase it for your computer, or you can increase your computer volume, one of the two.
I increased full volume in my mobile handset, but still it was very feeble.
Okay, I'm really sorry. But then the video, even without the voice, you can answer the questions. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Thank you then. Thank you so much. Mr. Narasimhan, you have any question? No. Okay. So I get back to the video to continue playing that video which we were seeing. Just seen the video, and based on this video, I would like you to answer another poll. Can you please go back to your polls? And now I have launched the poll. You can see the poll on your screen. Again, for those of you who could not answer, please check it out, because majority could do that. So there could be some problem in terms of the connectivity, or you just have to select and then submit, and then the answer is done. Now about 14% have voted. See, it's important that each one of us perceive based on this filter which I was talking about. And the filter is always something which is unique. Each one of us have our own filter based on the experiences which we have got. Somebody said 4, that's good. Fourth choice he has made. Otherwise, you can also enter it in the Q&A screen in case you can't poll it there. I can explain that when I demonstrate the result. 42% have voted. The others can continue voting. So the idea is that since the perception is different, moment we are able to understand how the other persons are perceiving, then our entire view changes. Here, to a great extent, I've not been able to do that in the earlier days. And after I left Bosch, and then I started introspecting and thinking as to what way could I have done better, because I had some kind of conflicts within me because of the values and the way the values were being practiced in India. I had seen the way the values are practiced in Germany, and that was a different one. So there, instead of really understanding, I always I didn't have this wisdom, whatever I have today. Maybe it would have been a different thing. I would have acted in a different way. To understand what the drivers are, what motivations are. Once you understand the perception, then it becomes much more calm for us to understand how the people are behaving, and accordingly moderate and then explain our actions. And that is something which is what the agile mindset is all about. Every time you understand how the other person is perceiving, we have a chance to improve ourselves. And now 60% have voted. With this, I close and then show you the results. You can see the results on the screen now. We have got about 42% who have chosen the answer. We need rural entrepreneurs to stop migrants. That's the perception which they had. The video didn't talk about that, but this is a perception because we just looked at that. And then the next one is 31% say people migrate to urban areas to realize their dreams, is the perception which people have. And the other one was the video just presents the problems without solutions. Majority have that perception. And 4% feel that physically difficult rural areas has a lot of opportunities. These are the 4 choices you have made. Here, my statement is, now look at it. All the 4, there are people each one making a different choice. It's not that everybody, there is no kind of a, what should I say, congregation of all these choices to one or two choices. There's definitely a spread. And this spread means that people perceive differently. And this is the most important wisdom which I have learned and I have been able to appreciate. And continuing with the presentation, we have these filters which I spoke about. And based on the framework as a filter, using which predictions are done continuously, establishing our mindset, defining the way we are perceiving the reality in comparison to the predictions. So always it compares, the prediction is there and then a comparison is done. In this picture, you can see the red line is a comparison, the white one is the actual perception. That difference is what is perceived. And based on these perceptions, then we start thinking. So let us see how we can think and talk about the cause and effect when we look at the next video. There is another video which I'm going to share on the cause and effect. Now, this is something which you can have a look and then let me know what you feel about it. So let us go to the next video. This time again, please make sure that your volumes are all increased so that you can look at the video, watch the video quite clearly. So this is a video about. So great. So now you saw that video. Now again, I go back to the poll. I use these polls because it's a nice way of letting all of us know how the choices are made. Now we're talking about what is the most important cause. There are 5 causes which I have listed out here. If more causes were there, I'm sure the diversity would have been much more. Please make your choice. Again, for those of you who can't do the poll, you are most welcome to answer it in the Q&A or in the chat window, and I can add on to the other comments which have been made. Okay, so there are 3s and 4s selected here. We've got 1. How to answer? You can just click on the button there. There is a radio button. You need to click on the radio button, Mr. Rajesh Bupanna. Somebody said answer is 1. One is there are 2 ones which have to be added to the poll, whatever we have got here. And if you can't answer, just write the number in the Q&A the same way as you have written this question, Mr. Bupanna. You can enter the number, and I'll mention that when I publish the poll. Oh, superb. So there are quite a few who have answered 1, 3 additional ones, and now we have got 64% who have voted, and here I got further 4 answers. So I think it's quite a good number. So let me close the poll now and then publish it for you to see the results. So here, if you see 44%, 41, maybe a little more than that, would be that government doesn't enforce the rules strictly, is what people have felt. And then the next one was 24%, which possibly is much higher than that, because we have 3 more who have answered in the Q&A section. There is no system to handle and manage garbage. This is our cause, right? The cause which we have identified. and 14% feel people generally throw the garbage outside their spaces, and then the 21%, that's quite good, people are lazy to separate and dispose of as per the rules. Now imagine you had a perception in the earlier video, and that perception was different. In this case, when you look at the garbage, you had a perception first, and then you also thought of the root cause. And the root cause are different. Because the root causes are different, your decision to act would be different. And since your decision to act would be different, you would demonstrate a different kind of a behavior. That's something which we are going to see now in the next slide, as next set of videos as we go ahead. Now I'll hide this poll and get back to the presentation. Now we saw that we are talking about defining the way we are perceiving the reality in comparison with the predictions is what happens first. And then we connect the dots and think to establish a cause and effect. We have now understood what is it that is resulting such a situation. Once you have understood that, then we go to decision making. Now let's see another video. Now once again, I keep doing this regularly because it's a very interesting way of running a webinar. It's quite interacting. I would have loved to do that. I always do something which I like to do, and now I am going to share the other video, and please have a look at the video, and then we again come to one more poll. Super. Now we have seen the video. Now we will decide. Now you need to, you are going to be perceiving, you're going to be thinking cause and effect, and then taking a decision, thinking of a possible decision. So let's see what your decision would be. Now I again launch the poll, and when I do that, you can see it in your audience screen. Otherwise, those of you who are not able to poll, please write it in your Q&A remarks, and I can select that. I can talk about that. So quite a few are choosing 4, 5, 5 and 1. 5. It's quite interesting. 5 seems to be gaining the ground. There are now this is a much more diverse thing. So you see in terms of perception. I don't know whether you noted that the perception poll was little lesser in terms of divergence. The next one, thinking, was a little more divergent. Now the deciding poll is even more divergent. So if the divergence increases because of our mindset, it is nothing wrong, nothing wrong or nothing correct. It's important to know that the divergence is always there. I conduct an exercise whenever we do any face-to-face session of getting people to walk for 20 meters, look at everything, and come back and find out how many common things they looked at. And it's remarkable. Maximum 10% of whatever they saw in that 1 minute will be common. Okay, so now I'm going to close the poll. 70% have voted. I'm going to share the results again to you. Have a look at the results now. It's quite interesting. What did I do? I think I messed up. No. Yeah, there it is. Now you can see the results, right? Yeah. So you're seeing the results. 37% have voted for 5. Additionally, we need to add 2 more who have voted in the Q&A window. I decide to stop the thrower and make him make him correct. That's good, very good. Must be all of us are quite courageous. Then other 30% next would be the number 2. Number 2, one more is there. Harish Babu has voted also number 2. That would be to talk about. I decide to call for a meeting with my neighbors. Superb. Then number 4 is 20%. I decide to inform the authorities of this violation. Then the other 2 have voted 7% have voted for the other 2. I decide to ignore, which is also okay. And I decide to sponsor getting a notice painted on the wall. So you look at it, the decisions that we're going to take is multiple. Now, finally, we'll talk about the action. What is the action which we're going to talk about is something which we will see. Now, before that, I'll just summarize this activity which we did. So basically, we balance the benefits and effort, or by gut we go. We go by the gut and decide. This is the next thing happen. This again is very, very individualistic. And once the decision is taken, the next activity would be to take an action. So let's see what kind of actions we do. Again, look at one more video, and then we will speak about that. So great. Now you saw this video. Now I request you to again go to the poll. I think the last penultimate poll, and after that we got one more coming up, and then we are done with the polls, and then we can go to Q&A. We have about 10 minutes is what I would imagine for Q&A. Now you got the next poll on your screen. So please choose amongst the 5 answers you have got. Now we are talking about the action which you're going to do. So we spoke about, now we are going through the 4 phases. Perceiving, you perceived what was being told in the video, and you thought of the root cause and effect, and then you went on to decide what you want to do, and really did this. We are simulating the action. You're not doing it right now. And this is again something which is interesting. So let's see what others have voted on the question and Q&A window. There is 4, which gets one more score. 4, then yeah, sorry, I'm 38. It is, yeah. So 2, 5, 5. So 5 is a king in the Q&A. So 5 5s have added up. So 5 gets the maximum, which is what it says. I'll speak to the sender for checking the origin. Then it is 3 is 28. I will confirm. Now I need to close the poll. 70% have voted, and then share this so that you can view on your screens. The winner is 5 basically, which says I'll speak to the sender for checking the origin, and then comes the next one, which is 3 to see if it was a fake message. I'll confirm the message was fake and then inform all, so that it's a kind of a Samaritan activity. So none have chosen 0, which is I'll call people involved in the message and to check that. Nobody wants to do that. 2, I don't think anybody has chosen that, or maybe one person has chosen 2 in the Q&A. So you look at it again, the divergence is that this time, again, it's quite chaotic. There is no real order. So therefore, it's important to understand that we are really not in a position to define any kind of a rule or a guide. There are a lot of tests being done, psychometric tests, and a lot of such psychology grouping is done. In my experience, none of these groupings work when it comes to such kind of mindset and perception, because the groupings are momentary, and that momentary situation may not be always the correct one. Okay, so once we have done that, we will again conclude on this, which is to talk about that we are acting for survival. That is the first reason what the mind and the brain does, to make sure that each one of us survive. Second, fundamental driver for the mind and the brain is to ensure continuity of life, which is to reproduce, to make sure that our kids are brought up, the kids are settled down, kids have their kids. Progeny is the next most important thing. And the third is to ensure that we are part of a society, belonging, a group, so that we will be saved. And the last is for evolving life. These are the 4 drivers with which the subconscious acts and our mind and the brain acts. So the diversity is something phenomenal. You saw that. Now let's see what mindset is all about. What is fixed mindset and what is growth mindset? This is again another video. There is no poll in this case. I'll just show you this last video. And once you have seen the video, we can continue with our discussion. So last video for you. You can also, like I said, all these, there are links at the bottom. You can watch at leisure in the YouTube whenever you want to do that. So great. You had an idea of the video. This is some kind of a summary in between my presentation. And then I go to the next one, which is very, very important. Please focus on this. There is also a small poll coming up. See, imagine if the filters were missing. If the filters were missing, we didn't have the filter at all, then all the trainings, decisions, communications would have been 100% effective. And that is one of the reasons why a lot of great ideas have taken decades and sometimes millennia to be implemented. See, in our philosophy, there is a saying which says, Sarve Jano Sukhino Bhavantu Naha, which means we are telling, let everybody be happy, let everybody be peaceful. But when you look at the way we behave on the road when we are driving around, or when we go to a supermarket to buy something, that kind of a mindset to really say that the other person is in the queue, allow him to first finish his job, then I'm going to take the position, especially now in the COVID situation where people are talking about social distancing. A lot of these things are violated. Why do we do that? These are not something new. These have been existing for ages, for millennia. And that is because the filters are there. If the filters were not there, everything would have been 100% effective. And let us see how it would be effective by doing this small math calculation, because math sometimes is the easiest to relate to, because there is no possibility of any ambiguity. So let me launch the last poll of the day, which is to request you to please answer this poll. This is a multiple choice poll. You can choose multiple answers and choose the answers which you feel are the right ones. And for those of you who could not do the poll on your computer, you're most welcome to tell me the answers on your Q&A window. Then I can definitely talk about that with the audience. So now 12% have voted. We've got, oh, it seems to be going great. So let's see what we've got in the Q&A portion. 1, 2, 4. Superb. Now let us see. Again, don't please mistake me. I'm not really trying to test your math ability or trying to talk about how good you are in maths or whatever. But look at the answers here. See, even in this case, this is a very, very simple thing, right? Our mind is something which is predicting. It predicted some answer. If that particular number was there, not there, the mind got confused, so it selected something different, is what happened. Now, in the chat window, everybody said in the Q&A window, 1, 2, and 4. All the answers were 1, 2, and 4. 1, 2, and 4 are the correct answers. Then we should have actually had only 1, 2, and 4, the same percentage, if you see, or all the three should have been same. So here, if you see, some have chosen 1, 2, but not have chosen the other one, which is they have not chosen 1 and 2. So only some people have chosen only 2. That is one which is interesting. And some have chosen the last one also, which is 9. Now, it's not because they don't know how to do math. It's basic math it is. But what you need to appreciate is the brain basically works based on predictions. And these predictions mean that if the answer, whatever we had predicted, is not there, then the brain is lost. Possibly all of us expected the answer to be 6. If the 6 is not there, we are lost. Therefore, some crazy choices have been made. So at this stage, I am now done with the videos and polls. So let me conclude with some further wisdom which I have gained over the years to explain to you. And there is some hand being raised. Any question you have got? No, nothing. So now, since the filters cannot be switched off, it is not possible at all. The only effective way is a focused debate to evolve a common filter and a collective agile mindset. This is something which is very important. That is the only way we can do that, which has been done over the years by various generations, various civilizations, and it has happened very effectively. Now, for doing that, I need to introduce you to another concept, which is called as the learning taxonomy. See, whenever any learning happens, we learn in 3 different domains, what is called as cognitive domain, affective domain, and psychomotor domain. Cognitive domain is all about learning the cause and effect, which is what we learn in any school, college, and during training programs. All this is about cause and effect. We are not really understanding whether it can be implemented at all or not. But we are understanding cause and effect. We know how to do it. Knowing it is all about knowing. Practical training is about psychomotor domain. The easiest example which I can give you is writing ABC or 1, 2, 3, or putting a signature. Little more complex one would be driving a car, where only you need to practice. And as you keep on practicing, it becomes a natural muscle memory. Then we have got the affective domain, which is where doHow works. It's all about your affects. Affects are basically internal. Affects are interceptive sensations. These are a technical word. Interceptive sensation is basically your internal emotions. What are you feeling? Your feelings. So you basically try to receive these feelings. When you are receiving some information, some learning, understand how you are feeling. When you are responding, understand how you are feeling. When you are and then you value it, whether whatever feelings you had were good or not. And if they were good, you try to repeat it. That's how the brain does. The brain is a magical machine. It's nice to you, it repeats it. So that valuation happens. Then after that, it organizes with other affective affects which you have got. Affect is what the word, or interceptive sensations or internal emotions you had. And then finally, it is internalized. This is the way the entire process works. So this is not taught actually. It's something which you experience. And what is affective arousal or effects? What are effects actually? Are the emotions that we feel. This is called as the quadrant where we can understand what kind of effects could be there. When the arousal is active and when some information, some learning gets us to get aroused, and the pleasant valence is the intensity with which this particular arousal happens. If it is pleasant and very, very intense, pleasant, or it could be unpleasant and that is unpleasant valence, and it could be a passive or active arousal. Passive arousal is there is no real arousal at all. It's quite subdued. And unpleasant is where it is not very nice. Okay, the other side is pleasant. So you see, when it is positive, active and pleasant balance. You are alert, excited, elated, happy, otherwise contented, serene, relaxed, calm. So one of these quadrants is what we will fall into, or maybe we are somewhere in the center whenever any activity happens. And this particular effect which we are feeling inside is something which needs to get valued and organized as something good and internalized. Only then will habits get formed. Otherwise, all the learning we did will stay in our brain and it will be used for nothing at all. Nothing at all. Only it will be used for answering a question paper. Otherwise, in terms of our behavior, nothing much happens. So this is something which is important. So what does doHow do is it creates a mindset driving continually for evolving your framework. In this case, depicted as a change from violet to cream. And how is that done is what we will see in the next slide. In the doHow game, there are constantly an individual task and a team task. When the individual task happens, you are constantly perceiving, thinking, deciding, and acting. This would take about 2 minutes time. Then the team task happens. During the team task, there is receiving, responding, valuing, organizing, internalizing happen continuously as a cycle. This takes another 2 minutes. Then it alternates again. And that's happening continuously for all the participants. And that's how the mindset gets changed to being agile, which is a growth mindset. Now, where can doHow be applicated? For entrepreneurs, for family. The family, you see, the family itself will have a mindset of its own, with individuals having different kinds of mindsets. Students, teams and departments and companies. And what does doHow cover as of now? It can be done for anything. What we have developed now is for soft skills, for changing the culture in companies, for achieving hard metrics, and for transforming companies to sustainable, profitable growth mode. And when I say all these metrics are achieved, what we are doing is simply getting everybody to develop a collective mindset, a collective framework, so that their readiness potential would be based on what is most beneficial for the company or for the team or for the organization or for the department. And we do this, we have experimented this multiple times. We do this in large capacity. There is no capacity, not a problem. That's why it's a huge invention, and we can do it very, very quickly. Only about 1.5 to 2 hours of time every 2 weeks, then the entire thing changes. If it is a large group, then we divide them into smaller groups and then work as small teams to talk about these 2 cycles, which I explained earlier. If it is face-to-face, if it is a web, then we do a breakout session. Not today. You could come back on any weekday next week from Monday onwards. Any weekday we are there. Breakout session is something where you split up into a smaller room of 4 and then you debate amongst 4 of you. Because more than 4, it will not really work out and there won't be any debate at all. And how do we deploy? We start with an assessment, design the doHow, run it every fortnight. I said only 2 hours maximum. And then you review the results during the timeout or reviews, assess again and start from assessment once again. That is the deployment which we do. And for joining our program, there are 2 possibilities. One is you can join the doHow Socratic face-to-face and web workshop, which is 100% interactive, which is on the weekdays. And there are both paid and pro bono or free sessions available. Free is for experiencing, pay is for learning and for changing your mindset. And that for doing that, you need to go to the web and then check out https://dohow.in/service. Or if you want to get didactic knowledge, like what we are doing today, only you want to listen and participate in the doHow Knowledge Service series webinars again in the web. If you want to do a face-to-face session, then write to us or call us. And the other option is these doHow games, if you are excited. Many of you have been participating multiple times so far in the last 6 weeks. I'm sure you are excited. Then you can go in for a SaaS model. That means you subscribe for the doHow game and run it for your team, for your community, so that get them to change their mindset. So that we can create a huge revolution in this country and our society to become much better than what we are today and create a huge impact and exponential growth. With this, I end my presentation and I am back to Q&A, and I am going to switch on my webcam and we could speak about your questions, and I'll get back to the Q&A. Where are the questions here? Yeah, there they are. Yeah, now yeah, please, I would unmute everybody. If anybody wants to ask a question, please do that. Otherwise, I'll go through the questions in the window here and then start answering them. If there are any questions in the window, let me see. Yeah, there are no questions as such in the window. If anybody have a question, please ask the question. Otherwise, there are only things about I could not select the answer, or feeble voice was not continuous, not able to see video. So any question is there, please write down in the Q&A box, or you can also ask the question. All of you have been unmuted now. You can unmute yourself and then ask the question.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Yeah, please go on. Please go on.
Sir Srinivas, can you tell me about can you highlight about conscious mind and subconscious mind? Can we able to control?
Yeah, hello? Can you please identify yourself, sir? I didn't understand your name.
Myself, B.S. Srinivas, lecturer, MEA Polytechnic, Rajajinagar, Bangalore.
Okay. Yeah, please.
Yeah. I wanted to know much about conscious mind and subconscious mind. Usually, subconscious mind works mechanically. Can we able to control subconscious mind being conscious? Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, my answer to that is very simple. Subconscious and conscious are very interesting. The conscious mind exists only in human beings. What we can recognize as conscious thoughts or conscious actions. Now, subconscious is something where the brain is already working. It's some kind of hidden programs in your mobile phone. And if you have to control that, the only way to do it is to start experiencing emotions and generating the effects. And these effects would get saved in the subconscious mind. And when the emotions are saved, they are linked to some event and an experience. So the subconscious knows if I do that, then it's going to be more beneficial for me. Therefore, subconscious would drive you to do those actions which will be more beneficial to you. So it's an indirect way of controlling by practicing and by teaching the subconscious through emotional experiences. Yeah, and then there is a question from Mr. Balasubramania Venkatesh. Not a question, but I would like to thank you for a wonderful session. Okay, not a question. Okay, Anil Revankar, what is the cost of this program? Yeah, Mr. Anil, see, we do every 2 hours is what we do. Once in every day there is a program for sharpening the leadership skill. There are 3 basic topics. One is general topics like sharpening of leadership and management professional skills, or something directly related to top and bottom line, which could be sales, or something which is in between, which could be manufacturing, engineering, or quality, or something neither leadership nor neither generic nor top line. And so we have got 3 price levels. For the first one, it is 500 rupees per program for 2 hours. Second one is 750, and the third one is 1000. You can check it out in our website. Then Kiran Kulkarni, since all the answers
Plus, in addition to that, we also have some specialized one, which talks about strategy, which was Blue Ocean strategy, which we covered last time. That is also there, which costs about 1,100 per session. And we also talk about certain specialized areas like TOC Plus, where also we give the basics, which is around 500 per session. But these 2, Blue Ocean and TOC, goes as a 5 things package, 5 session package.
Thank you, Vivek. Now, there's a very interesting question by Mr. Kiran Kulkarni. He says, since all the answers were divergently scattered, how do we deal such things in an organization? It's absolutely true. That is the unfortunate reality. See, what has happened in the world is people have understood that there are employees who are having 2 hands and then they don't have a brain. So, moment they are employed in an organization, I believe that they have to simply execute their work. They're coming to execute the work. And that was the case during the modern times. I don't know whether any of you have watched the movie Modern Times by Charlie Chaplin. You know, that was the time when man was only using hands to do some work. Otherwise, you have a brain, and if you have to use the brain, it is mandatory that you provide opportunities for constructive debate, for continuously discussing, reviewing in a group which can be shared much uniformly without any emotional connect. And that's something which happens during doHow. So my answer to this is get doHow introduced in the organization and the problem will be solved, as we have seen in the other organizations so far. Then next is Mr. Srinivasan. Subconscious is more powerful. So working on this will result in great things. Yeah, absolutely. Why is Agile often called a mindset and a culture transformation? Supriya BS. Agile is not called a mindset. Agile, if you see in the software world, it is more to do with the way you are looking at projects. Instead of that's the fundamental shift which happened earlier. The idea was to do everything sequentially, and later the idea was to do everything in parallel or maybe overlapping. And then came the concept of Agile, where you really break down the big project into smaller chunks and then complete A to Z in one go. That means you start with the idea, implement it, test it out in one go. That was the concept of Agile, which will be done as different customer expectations, customer stories. And so that's Agile. So why do you say Agile is a mindset? Because when you have got an Agile mindset, you are in a position to evolve continuously. You are not really stagnant. And agility is about evolution. Agility is about being able to adapt yourself to multiple situations. In our current VUCA world, where we have got a lot of volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. Agility is something which is mandatory, or which is the essence of something. And what is cultural transformation with Agile? Yeah, because if you are able to create an Agile mindset, then you have got a progressive society. People in the society can think. Today, if you look at the way the debates happen on television, they are 100% emotionally based. There is no facts, data. So even if somebody is trying to present himself with some kind of a opinion, is it not the basic human, humanity for the others to listen to that person? And the person who is telling the opinion will keep on repeating the same thing without having any open mind at all. That is not a very culturally evolved society. So therefore, if you say that people are agile, they're able to transform themselves, have an open mindset, then it becomes easy for them to transform the society. Then is there any practice to control subconscious mind? Like I said, it's the only thing is to experience and then imagine, visualize. These are all the various topics. Thank you, Dinakar. Okay, then after that, is our perception controlled by conscious or subconscious mind? Srinivas B.A. asked that our perception is controlled 100% by the subconscious mind because perception is 100% based on your past experiences. Subconscious mind is constantly doing a prediction of what's going to be there in the next second, next millisecond. And based on that, when you see if that matches, then you are happy. And the brain also is happy. When it is not matching, then the brain tries to understand why is it not matching. So 100% your perception is based on your subconscious mind, 100%. Thank you, sir. It's very good. I also see possibility of innovation in divergent. I didn't understand. Mr. Srinivasan, what was that you were mentioning here? Can you please let us know? I also see the possibility of innovation in divergent use. Mr. Srinivasan? I don't think he's there. I'm sure there is an innovation possibility because of divergence. That way, if I understand, it's very true. Then how this approach will help in project management? Oh, of course, absolutely. Project management is the most complex thing that anybody can do, because in project management, you are not doing anything repetitive. Everything you do is unique. Everything you do is something which is very, very unique, very, very difficult, because you don't know what you are doing, and it's something you are doing for the first time. Therefore, the need for agility is much, much, much higher in the case of a project management. We have had one case where we did this with a multinational company in Nasik, and there last year we had done the workshop, and I believe my colleague Vivek can explain that. Vivek, you can only explain that. What was the result of this project management activity we did?
We started at that particular challenge where the projects needed to be implemented and the throughput had to be improved. And there were a lot of challenges because every department was working in particular silos. And when this team got together for 3 days, they themselves realized that the basic challenge was them with the design. And because the designs needed to be continuously worked upon, there were delays and continuous changes in the manufacturing process, causing a lot of iterations and challenges. So what they decided as a team, that they will not disturb the design at all. And there will be only 1 hour window during which they will design, and they will put through all the designs much better. Second realization which they got, that they were having a lot of challenges about information and sharing. So during that particular process, they developed a digital dashboard and also a lot of programs which were making their life much easier. So the manufacturing meetings, which used to take about 1 hour, 1.5 hours, started happening within 15 minutes to 20 minutes time. So it became more and more productive. People started being ready for what is required for tomorrow or day after tomorrow's fixed plan. They used to have 2 days fixed plan, and that started getting much more better. Even though a lot of things happened, there was a lot of turbulence in the market because of a lot of uncertainty. But still, in month of January, I received a call from their business owner who said that, Vivek, in spite of all the challenges which we had, their unit worked cohesively and produced highest top line in the history of the company, along with the profits also highest. So this sort of synergy starts happening with these games. Because just now you experienced how the perceptions were there initially and how slowly the perception started changing. And alignment happens. What happens basically when you play a doHow game? I'm digressing for a minute, but it's very important for me to talk about it. The doHow game is all about agility. You couldn't experience it today because of lack of time, but I encourage all of you to come on every weekday at 7:30 and participate. So what happens there is that you are given with a contextual hint, and you need to think about it. While you are thinking about it, the other participants are also thinking. So they are comparing the two things, getting alignment, understanding, and moving ahead. Another thing which many people like about it is the feedback mechanisms. They get continuous instant feedback. And that is what Mr. Dinakar had suggested and showed it to you in those graphs, what happens at individual level and the correction which keeps on happening at the team level. So that's how accountability gets built in. That's how teamwork gets built in. And people start seeing the same goal together and achieve amazing results.
Thank you so much, Vivek. Mr. Srinivasan Navanithan, you can unmute now. I think you are, can you try that now? Can you please see if you can do that? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, please go on.
See, what I meant was, regarding the innovation, see, when if everybody is telling the same view, then it is a beaten out path. So when the divergent view comes, then there is a possibility of picking up some valuable ideas. That's what I was meaning.
Absolutely, you're very true, and that is what is the magic of creating an environment. See, if you really get people to give divergent ideas just like that, they won't. You need to create that environment also, because people should be free to give the ideas, and that's what happens when you do that. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much, Mr. Vijay.
One thing which always happens in a doHow game is that we guarantee that 100% of the participants always participate because of the format, and then they loosen up. And once they loosen up, they start playing the game much more better and contributing and accepting other people's ideas.
Yeah. So now, Mr. Vijay Karkare, you had some question. You wanted to speak. Mr. Vijay Karkare, please go on. Okay, so till you come back.
You need to unmute yourself, Mr. Karkare.
Yeah. So you're able to hear me now?
Yeah, very much.
We can. Very much. Yeah. Okay. I wanted to take your input. Now, we are a small group of around 12-13 people, and we are in the executive search. In the executive search, typically what happens is that when we get a mandate for a CXO level professional, we search in the environment who could be the possible people. So there are target companies, and within the target companies, we keep selecting and then start talking to the people. My observation is that how this process can be improved and the knowledge generated is assimilated and stored. Because several times I had told my team members that when you're looking at a person, look at not only the person but the holistic organization. Try to gain insight and capture that somewhere. And then, because when you're talking to one person, there may be another two people who may be more suitable than the person you're contacting for that particular role. And we must look at the organization as a whole, try to understand the structure, but this is never being implemented. Though I'm a managing director and people have to listen to me, people don't listen. They just approach one person individually, identify 3 or 4 best people, and then share the CVs with the client. In the process, what happens when next time assignment comes, we do not have the knowledge of various target companies. Like if I'm working on a pharma sales and marketing head, and we had talked to 20, 30, 40 people from 15, 16 different organizations. I want a system wherein the knowledge is captured of these different organizations so that we can go quickly into that knowledge pool and dig and then close those mandates faster and also in a better way. Now, can your doHow help me by conducting some workshop or so that this is drilled into the people's mind? Because such a simple thing, but people they're in a hurry to complete the work, it looks like.
Yeah, so I would request our partner Sagar to talk about this first, and then I will add later Vijay. Nice that you could participate. Long time that we have met. Thank you once again. Yeah, so
Hi.
Sagar, please go on.
Hi, good evening, Vijay, and all the others. Vijay, I'm really happy to have been answering this question. I am a recruiting consultant by myself, and I had a lot of hurdles. Just like what you explained before and after. What do I mean by before and after is before doHow and after doHow. Before doHow, I was one among the herd, but later my hit rate is 99%, to the extent of even the CXOs. Okay, and to the extent that, in fact, I have one of our client in the list. I would want him to speak about our methodologies. We use doHow methodology to screen during interviews and also during the presentations. So doHow definitely helps. It helps both the recruiter per se, right from my first person who screens the profiles, either headhunting or through open market, and during his or her interaction with the candidate, we have tuned them in the doHow methodology. The doHow methodology is more about inquisitive, allowing the other person also to ask questions. Just to give you a briefing how it all thing builds up. So during this process, we are able to get quality candidates, and your clients will definitely be happy for one position if they get only 2, at the worst case 3 profiles. Not more than that. We are obviously as recruiters paid to reduce their workload and give them an apt or right fit. And doHow has helped us. And further on, Dinakar will take. I just wanted to add that doHow has been a success for me being a recruiter myself in both IT and non-IT at mid levels and at the senior management levels also.
Great.
Yeah, so thanks a lot. Thank you, Sagar. See, Vijay, I feel 2 things I wanted to just add on. One is when you look at what you're talking about is a classical knowledge management. How do you ensure that wherever you got individual knowledge, that becomes company knowledge and it becomes an organizational knowledge? Now, in my understanding, there are 2 types of knowledge which we can talk about. One is the tacit knowledge, the other one is the implicit knowledge. Now, in one case, it is very, very strong when you look at engineering activities, when you look at maintenance procedures, when you look at drawings, etc. And the other one is the tacit knowledge, right? And tacit knowledge is something which is only available within the human beings. And the only way that you can extract that is by organizing some kind of a regular information sharing, where people are sharing their best practices, others understand what it is. And that has to happen very quickly. And there I feel doHow can help, as what Sagar was telling. And when you're talking about this, there are a lot of activities where people are sharing their experiences. And that sharing of the experience itself is something which is known to the other person so that he would not repeat the same error once again. That is what I wanted to just add on.
Dinakar, just if you permit me, Mr. Vishnuvardhan, you're there. Could you just brief about your experience of doHow, being used in recruitments? Mr. Vishnuvardhan, you're there?
Yeah, he's there. You can speak. Yeah. Go on.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dinakar. Thank you, Sagar, for this opportunity to have me speak about our experience working with this methodology like First of all, I just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Vishnuvardhan. I head the HR for a German company in Bangalore. Our experience was that initially we had the similar problems where for certain positions or any position we used to get a series of profiles. Post this, I mean, probably like with this methodology, what Sagar and Dinakar were using with respect to the kind of profiles provided, it was more of trying to understanding about the not only about the position but also the cultural fitment within the organization, how this position is going to the kind of personality fits into this particular position. How would it impact the organization at the organization level, at the manager, the supervisory level, at his peer level, and also at the subordinate level. This is a kind of 360-degree view. Views it was giving, and which reduced predominantly with respect to TAT in filling the positions, and also for the hiring managers in the number of profiles what we were receiving.
Thank you, Mr. Vishnu. That was nice of you to have spoken.
Thank you so much.
I would like to conduct this. Do you conduct in virtual way or because we are all scattered in?
No. We do a virtual webinar only. We will do. So what I would suggest, Vijay, is that maybe tomorrow, if you are free, or later today or on Monday, we fix up a time and then we can speak it over, and then
tomorrow
we can do a webinar.
Tomorrow morning is fine, around 11 o'clock.
11 o'clock, yeah, fine, absolutely. I'll send you a meeting request. We can speak. Yeah,
sure.
Thank you.
We'll have a call at 11. Yeah,
sure.
Thank you for posing that question, Vijay.
Yeah,
thank you.
Thank you.
And Mr. Purushottam Kandelwal, you want to tell something? You had raised your hand. No, okay. So there is one more question here from Mr. Srinivas BA. I would feel that is the last question for the day. He asked whether agility creates fatigue. So I would answer it this way. See, in our brain, whenever we get an idea, whenever we get a new thought, it releases, because whenever we get a new idea, new learning, the neurons join, where the neurons are joining, there is a connection made, and that connection is called as synapses, which I spoke about in the earlier slides. Now, whenever a synapse happens, dopamine gets released. Dopamine is the happiness hormone. Okay, so any learning which you believe is learning, it's not learning that let us say if I am the teacher, I'm teaching so many things and you are not really believing that is something interesting to you, then there is no learning which is happening, no connections that are happening. Moment it becomes interesting to you, the connections happen, and every connection means dopamine is getting released. Every time dopamine gets released, you feel happy. So when you are talking about doHow and agility, agile mindset is what should I say? Is a state of bliss, because constantly you are getting dopamine, you are constantly learning, and it is happiness without any end. There is no problem with fatigue at all. And here I would like my colleague Vivek to talk about the physical observation of participants in a 3-day workshop on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Vivek, go on.
See, we have done multiple face-to-face workshops, as you can see it on the left-hand side of the slide, where we engage larger groups, right from top floor to shop floor. And we had engaged close to about 75 people in a commercial engagement and 250 people in a demonstration which went on for 4 hours. But the 75 people whom we had engaged it for 3 days, that was on a Saturday, Sunday, that is they missed their 2 holidays, and on a Monday. And at Monday evening at 7:30 p.m., the guys were fully energetic. See, what really tires us, is constantly working on one particular thing. But if we have to learn from something, if we are seeing something new, if we are looking at something new and learning, then our energy levels are always high. And that is exactly what happens in an actual doHow game. Today, because lack of time, we couldn't show it to you. But that is what is an extremely different 180 degrees opposite to what experience you had it today. If today you like this webinar, I am sure you will love and extra love the web workshop, what we call it as, which happens on every day at 7:30. And that is where you can really experiment how you can't get into fatigue because you're liking it.
Okay. So, name, there is one more comment here from Mr. Dilip Raikar. This training was using webinar is a good method to sharpen the skills during this opportunity given by COVID. Thanks a lot. And we should also thank COVID for having given us the hint to start a web workshop. Otherwise, we would not have done that at all. So thanks a lot to God. Thanks to Almighty. And thanks to... And
Dilip, I would like to just suggest one thing, that if you have liked this web workshop, you should definitely participate in the web workshop rather than the webinar. You'll have a much thrilling experience because there we talk only 15% of the time and 75 to 85% of the time the other people are talking and contributing and aligning themselves.
So there is another
maybe
question.
I'll try to do.
Sure. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
There's another question here. When head and heart is on the job, two results, things result. Job will be well done and will not feel tired. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. And that once you are in sync, you imagine this is something very interesting. So thanks a lot that you spoke about that, Mr. Srinivasan Navanithan. You are a motivator to me today. See, when we look at our body, you imagine the amount of conflict we have got when there is a conflict between the head and the heart. You know, we can't sleep in the night. We can't digest food. We get into problems like diabetes. We get into problems like coronary heart disease and whatnot. All things happen. Now, in organizations, imagine there are totally some 800 people, and each 800 person, each one has got his own mind, his own heart. So if 800 people are not in sync, what would be the situation of the organization? And that is where agile mindset is going to help. And that's where the mindset change is required, because we have got phenomenal potential. And you look at it, I was talking about this old Indian saying, which is Sarve Jano Sukhino Bhavantu Naha. Other than that, let us look at some modern stuff also, modern great ideas, theory of constraints. Both Vivek and Vivin who are here, they are experts. And theory of constraints was introduced to us in the year 1984 by Eliyahu Goldratt. And today we are in the year 2020, 36 years after that introduction. But still today we are having people who have difficulty in understanding what theory of constraints is, which is fundamentally nothing other than common sense. And that is basically because we attend a lot of programs and feel that we have understood. That is the illusion which we have got in the brain. And the mind is always making you safe. You know, it's not allowing you to take any risk because it doesn't want you to take chances. So you are safe, and then you learn that, and after that I say, no, I know that everything is good. You know, my job is done. That is not life at all. You learn and then internalize it, then you experience a different kind of happiness. Yeah.
Hello, are you able to listen me?
Yeah, please go
Yes,
on.
tell me.
I'm Dhananjay Kulkarni. Actually, I lost internet connection for 5 minutes, so
Yeah,
the
please go
flow was disturbed for me. But I just wanted to ask a last question, that your daily these workshops on doHow, what you do at 7:30, is there any subject wise some timetable or something like that is available on your website, so that we can choose the respective subjects?
Yeah, basically what we have today is if we go into the paid version of the things, we'll have at this moment 3 major streams. One is leadership, second is manufacturing, and third is sales. And shortly we'll also include, we have a supply chain, but we can always put into web version shortly. These are the 4 basic vertical streams which we have, the web workshops, which you can book yourself. 3 are available today, and 4th one will come shortly. Plus, in addition to that, we have one more of Blue Ocean strategy, which talks about strategy and theory of constraints. So as of now, totally we have 5. One is expected to get added. So these are the 6 verticals which you can choose from. And as you rightly pointed out, by going in for a focused one particular subject web workshop, you can develop your skills, understanding, and ability, all 3 together, at much faster pace than playing a generalistic game once in a while.
Yeah, but one thing
Want
which
to
I
add something more, Dinakar?
no, only one thing which I want to caution is please don't believe that in one session you will get everything. You need to minimum participate for 3 months, every 2 weeks once, so that after 3 months you see the change. Because your brain is having so much amount of magnitude which I explained to you in the slide 1 and 2. You can understand. You're trying to change that, means it will not happen immediately. You need to do every 2 weeks for 3 months at least minimum.
So I understood it,
and
but
some of these continue, DL.
I understood what you said, but I just wanted to ask a question that if we want to do this on some focused domain like leadership or supply chain, as Vivek had said, so is it it is covered in your daily workshops which you are doing presently free, or is it to be done with some paid programs?
It is to be done with the paid programs, and in the paid programs today you will find 3 of them there, which talks about leadership, manufacturing, sales, and blue ocean and TOC. And shortly we'll add supply chain too. But primarily these are paid programs. You can go there and click on the paid programs.
So what are the fees for that, and all that is available on your website so that I can recommend it to my
it
team?
is available on the website, and Dinakar also mentioned it. I can repeat it for you. These we are giving it away at a throwaway price equivalent to just about what you can spend on a movie. Leadership program comes at every session of 500 rupees. Manufacturing and quality assurance comes at 750 rupees, while sales, which is a top line, which comes about 1000 rupees, and strategy part of Blue Ocean comes at 1100. But the strategy part, you have to do 5 sessions to get the entire connectivity. And TOC also comes at 500 rupees. So that again, you have to cover all 5 sessions together to get the complete grasp of the topic.
Okay, understood.
And as Dinakar mentioned, that generally it is always advisable that you take these leadership, manufacturing, and sales which are available and repeat it every 2 weeks. And we have it scheduled. So you take about for 3 months and you can see the difference. We have delivered it specifically in sales, where a big multinational company into consumers was there, consumer durables, which was going across there. And in this domain, we helped those team go from 80% to 110% within a gap of just 3 months. Plus, in addition to that, their accountability increased considerably.
Okay. I have a question. Last question. I just wanted to ask because I have done 2 sessions which were free. So are they? You are still continuing with them so that I can recommend to my contacts to at least get one of the free session done so that they can get a hack of it and then go for more detailed paid sessions.
Yeah, sure. Every day at 7:30 there is a free session. If you go to the website which we were talking about here, doHow.in, and then go to solutions. In the solutions there are free webinars. You choose a free webinar, you can attend the free webinar. Every day it is available.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Except Saturdays. Saturdays we have knowledge series.
Okay.
And Sunday it is not there, but all other days it is available at 7:30. And one more thing about knowledge series is that knowledge series starts at 7. All other series starts at 7:30.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much. Now I've got one more question from Mr. Abel Korea. Mr. Abel Korea, you had a question. You wrote down the question here. I've answered it. You can, if you want to speak anything, let us know. Please do that. Mr. Abel Korea.
Hi, Mr. Dinakar. I think this session was it was pretty good session. Really liked it. And I am definitely keen on theory of constraints and the blue ocean strategy. And I heard Mr. also. Only thing is I am on your website, but pardon my ignorance because I find maybe I'm old and not the new millennial person to get onto these websites. So if you can just send me back the link exactly which website, because right now I'm at your website and struggling to find out the list of trainings and the pricing.
Yeah, see, basically, okay, I'll send it to you. I just explain so that others also will understand how it is. Or maybe I can show it to you here directly. That's a better thing to do. Just hold on, please. Yeah, you need to go on to the website, which is doHow.in. And after that,
Yes.
there
You
is a
need to change
solutions.
the screen.
Yeah, it's visible, right? Or you're not able to see the screen?
Yeah. Visible.
We are
visible.
still, now we are able to see it.
Yeah,
Vivek,
and then you go
just
to
hold on.
solutions.
Yeah.
Okay.
And under solutions, there are free webinars, which you see here on the top, which is free webinar, which is free. Paid is for sales. You can click the sales and revenue. Or if you want to do sales and revenue, Blue Ocean comes under sales and revenue. It's about, then you have got the doHow workshop for sharpening personal and marketing skills. This is the doHow workshop, which we do every day. And then the knowledge series, Blue Ocean strategy for sales. Then you have similarly for
TOC?
TOC, which is under product, process, and supply chain engineering. So either you could do the web workshop for sharpening personal manufacturing engineering quality assurance skills, or do the web workshop for TOC, which is a TOC webinar for manufacturing.
So are there set schedules for face-to-face
No,
webinars?
for this one, yeah. So this is web workshop is something which is happening every day. There is, and you go to the registration link, you can see what are the actual schedules available here. You need to just select whichever you want and then book it.
Thank you.
And if you want something for your company, then you could get in touch with us, and we will do something specific for your company. There is no need for any booking to be done. We will then discuss, and once you are clear about what we offer and what is that you want, then we will invoice it to the company as a normal payment. That would be to book a free meeting. You can go here, and this is a knowledge series which you can do every day. My suggestion is first participate in this. If you are interested, then it will give you an insight, and after that,
the approach is which I've always followed is I tried first myself, and if it is good enough for me to digest, then taking it to a larger scale is better.
Absolutely. No, you can come on any day. This is that daily demo workshop for on sharpening of personal skills at 19:30. Here from Monday onwards, you can book any day. You can book, and we are there. We are most welcome. You're most welcome, and we will be very happy to.
I would like to, as I said, I would like to actually try not the not the awareness or the marketing sessions.
No. Yeah, so in this session, let me again be very transparent upfront. In the free session, we are not only giving you the experience, but also we do some amount of background, which is to talk about our company, our customers, and that is definitely for about, I would imagine, 10 minutes, Vivek, 10 or 15 minutes we'll spend
maximum
on that.
10 minutes.
10 minutes, and the remaining 40 minutes is experience. Okay.
Yeah.
So if it's if it's a paid session, then 2 hours is fully experience. There is no marketing, no presentation.
So pardon me for interjecting, but the way I have believed over last whatever years of my professional career is nothing in life is free. And you pay. If you're buying gold, you pay for it at the level of gold. If you're buying platinum, you pay at the level of platinum, right? So I don't mind, and I will definitely give my hand at this website today and see if I can subscribe to couple of the paid sessions, especially around theory of constraints and Blue Ocean strategy, and therefore the complete experience, and then look at the value proposition and go back to the organization and propose that, can we look at this? And especially when the COVID situation is there, the entire theory of dopamine, I think, is needed, because you want people to feel good about it, because there is so much you can do to make people happy, but this is a very natural phenomenon. I did have a colleague of mine, Vardaraja, in earlier company called JDA, and he did speak about synapse and the neuropathy experience as to how you can use learning as a curve to build happiness in the people.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's a very good theory, and I'm sure we should try this, because in COVID situation, when everything around us seems to be sinking, but this new experience, new knowledge, I think if it can be built, and not just apart from knowledge, but also get the injection of dopamine naturally, lovely. I think it's a good value prop.
Yeah, so there I need to just clarify one point, Mr. Korea. See, if it is Blue Ocean or theory of constraints, that would be a didactic webinar. It's not the experience of dopamine. There it will be only one person explaining the facts. If you want to experience the dopamine and the insights which I spoke about, it is the sharpening or the doHow web workshop. Any web workshop would be of that kind, which is interactive. So you need to keep that in mind.
Dinakar,
Sure.
can we show him just in the solution page the throughput improvement? Because TOC primarily talks about throughput improvement. And we have a game which is in Socratic way, which always focuses on throughput improvement.
Lovely.
Improvement throughput for speed. And in the games also, we have a game which is developed, which we can quickly make it into a, we can work around it and see that it is there in the web version. But that is primarily talking about throughput.
See, this web workshop which you are seeing on the screen now, web workshop for sharpening personal manufacturing, engineering, and quality assurance skills, is the doHow methodology, which we explained today, which is only 2 hours, 750 rupees, which you keep repeating every 2 weeks. This is something which is a TOC webinar. Webinar is something where you are being explained about the TOC concepts in manufacturing. That would be something like a normal training center, a training activity.
So this 2,500 is for the pack of 2 hours into whatever times, right? Five times.
5 times of explanation.
5 times.
It is mostly didactic.
Okay.
But, there
But it's
also will be,
didactic.
but we also have
And-
interactions. Yeah.
And is there a support system where after I do this session and I am trying this, after acquiring this knowledge, I'm trying to use this as a practice in my corporate life and I'm stuck on a particular interjection, then do you guys maybe an hourly paid thing where you say, I will charge you so much to consult you?
Yes,
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
definitely.
Oh, lovely.
Okay.
Thank you so much,
thank you so
gentlemen.
much.
I really appreciate the session. It was pretty experiencing and pretty nice. And I really look forward to participating in a couple of them to get the experience and then see how to build it up. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, I just need to check out once again if there are any further questions. In the meantime, Vivin, you want to add anything? Any comments? Any questions? So I need to see if there are any further questions here. I think that was the last question we had. So with that, I would now call it a day. Thanks a lot for your participating, and it was really very, very inspiring for me. And I feel very excited to be talking about this topic because if I look at my life, it's like more or less reinventing my life, or restarting my life with this new knowledge. This knowledge is really phenomenal because I can now understand why people behave in some way they behave and what way I need to really moderate myself, or why should I, how can I learn from them is something which I can think of. So with that, thanks a lot. Have a nice evening. And Sagar wants to say something. Sagar, please go ahead.
Gentlemen, thank you for your presence today evening. I began today's session with a proverb on the thirsty horse. That is, you can take a horse to the water, but you can't make it drink. But later on, I added one more phrase or a proverb to it. The great gentleman on your screen, Mr. Dinakar, said once that I can make a horse thirsty. Let it go seek its water. And that was the phrase that, one of the phrases that motivated me to be along with him at Samuthána. And I'm sure that that is what has done to quite a lot of you, or majority of you, in today's knowledge series sessions. The testimonial for that is quite a lot of inquisitive questions that come up. And I'm sure that this nature of inquisitiveness is what is going to take her to the higher abode. Thank you all, and thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Dinakar, that for inventing doHow, for innovating doHow. Thank you. It has changed quite a lot of minds today. Good night and have a pleasant
Thank you so
evening.
much. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Sure.
Bye.
Night.